Hey guys, welcome to What If Deku is OP and can edit quirks part 7. This is like the third or fourth time I've done this intro. I just can't seem to get it right, so yeah, here we go. I just want to thank you guys for the support real quick. Absolutely fantastic if you stuck through this long, and hopefully this will be a longer video, though it really depends how quickly I get through my notes, because I've done notes this time, because I seem to be getting distracted dead easily. So yeah, like and subscribe if you're new here, helps me out a bunch. All the lovely comments you've been getting is absolutely fantastic. So, let's get right into it. So, of course, the All Might exam has just happened, so I am going to do a little time skip to USJ. So, Deku's on the bus, and this time Bakugo don't really pick with him. This is because Bakugo got absolutely annihilated, like it wasn't even close. Like, it's to the point where people are feeling pity over him because of how much Deku beat him, which really knocked Bakugo down a lot of pegs. Because you know how he's really overconfident and he's like, I'm a high school Chad. He's not really that much anymore. He'll gain his confidence back, but Deku's a little bit overpowered. So, they all walk into the arena and 13 starts explaining the USJ and what it all is. That is then when Deku realizes that somebody who's usually in this training exercise and stuff like that isn't there. That's because it's All Might. So you may be asking, since All Might's no longer injured, whereabouts is he? Well, All Might's doing All Might things, and now he's got his power somewhat back. He's still losing it because he's giving it away to Deku. He's now going around saving people, saving people, saving people, saving people, and he's been really He's been really irresponsible. That's a word I'm looking for. And he's just lost track of time saving people, and he's still saving people as we know it. He's not picked up his phone as well, which is just not. It's not good all night. That's mainly because when he's heroing, he doesn't carry his phone because he would carry your phone when you're heroing. Anyway, so All Might isn't there. So 13 explains about the USJ again, even though just you know. Where I'm just gonna take a quick sip of my drink. So, um, just to move it along a bit, that is when purple portals start appearing into the sky, and villains start raining down from them, as well as what looks like the main ringleaders with a ginormous, monstrous-looking creature, the person that looks like the ringleader, and the portal guy who looks like he's summoning down the villains. They all seem dead weak, but the aura coming from the muscled up creature that doesn't quite look human is immense to the point where even Deku thinks it's similar to All Might's. So, that is when they all get separated, of course. Everything else goes normal for everybody else other than Deku and Tsuyu. So, what happens with Deku and Tsuyu is, of course, this is a training exercise, so Deku is wearing his suit. He takes off his suit that has the highly dense material that makes him weighed down, so he can only use 5%. Immediately, he takes it off, realizing that they're real villains straight away. Then he gets Suyu to throw him up in the air. The reason he's done that is because he does not know how much percentage he can use to A, get high enough, and B, not damage the boat. Because if he damages a boat, it has a chance of putting Suyu in danger. So he gets Suyu to fling him up in the air, and that's when he punches down on the water, which causes a. This is using 100% of One for All, which causes the whirlpool effect, and as he does this, he tells Suyu to basically grab onto him, and he, with a tongue, of course, and then he gets them both to land, and he does this through a mixture of slight flicks, which, so basically, he uses One for All to control himself in the air, which is quite impressive, and Suyu's like, whoa, when did you learn to use your power that, well, impressively, and Deku's like, well, I mean, I'd been training by myself, trying to not make the fact known that he's been training with All Might that much because uh, favoritism isn't really meant to be shown. Sorry, my mouth's drying up quite a lot. and it's also 2:50 in the morning, so it's not the best time to be recording this, but hey, I've been writing the script for however long, and I'm quite, okay, yeah, focused. Right, so, this causes all the villains to be chucked into one big whirlpool, and Deku and Tsuyu both run away. This is because well, Deku wants to get to the main threat, and Tsuyu doesn't want to fight the villains that she technically doesn't have that much of a chance against because of the sheer amount of them. So Deku and Aizawa get to the battle. Deku and Tsuyu get to the battlefield. That's when Deku tells Tsuyu to stay back a bit. Deku peeps around the corner to see Aizawa's hurt. This really angers him because Deku doesn't like to see his teachers getting hurt, and now he's got power. He realizes he can do something about it. So Deku immediately activates 100% full cowling, and also puts a strength quirk behind him. This causes him to walk a lot slower as he walks towards the monstrous creature and the Shigaraki. I'm just gonna call him Shigaraki, as well as the portal looking dude. He walks towards him and says, "How dare you hurt my sensei?" He's struggling for breath because he's not used this much power in a while. This It's getting harder for him to walk as he's getting slower as his strength quirk is increasing. He decides to let it go. So he can get closer to them quicker, not making himself an open target. You get away from him! That's when he realizes if he does anything, he might hurt Aizawa. So what he does straight away is make sure to get Aizawa out of there by faking a punch, but instead using his speed quirk to get Aizawa out of there immediately. This of course gets Nomu's attention as Shigaraki's like, "Get the boy." So Deku runs away with Aizawa, placing him where Tsuyu is, and then runs immediately into battle. He turns off his speed quirk, rather focusing on one for all for the speed, and then he puts a little bit of strength behind it and punches the Nomu. He calls this one Improved Detroit Smash. He puts a lot of strength behind it, which completely nullifies his movement speed for a bit. This leaves him an open target, but luckily a dust cloud is covered. This is because he's left a crater where he's punched the Nomu into the ground using more than 100% of one for all due to his strength increase quirk. Deku immediately realizes this is not fully taken out the Nomu, and he could get up at any second, but due to the amount of rubble keeping him in place, the Nomu shouldn't get out. Deku then stares at Shigaraki and Portal Dude, getting even angrier at him as Portal Dude and Shigaraki stand there, shocked at the pure power of this kid. He then shouts, "Imbecile kid," as Deku charges towards him, but because he's so angered, he's still got his strength quirk activated. This causes him to be too slow, and Deku realizes from inexperience he's let the Portal guy and Shigaraki get away because they've had enough time to react due to Portal guy's quick reaction skills. Right. Deku then walks over to the Nomu, realizing that it could wake up at any second. He decides to scan to see what quirks it has. This is because he's curious, because he can take a blow from All Might and still be able to be somewhat conscious, though the Nomu's not able to move. That's when Deku realizes it's being controlled. This is because when he opens the edit panel, he realizes beside its name, it says it says species, human. This angers Deku so much because he realizes that the Nomu's human. Deku runs into the crate before the Nomu can fully get up. That's when he realizes what he's got to do. The rest of the UA heroes get here a little bit earlier because of the loud rumble that Deku caused earlier, and on top of that, Shigaraki and the portal dude were distracted a lot more easy, making it a lot more easier for Ida to run away. Ida's also a lot more faster because he's been training due to the strength shown by Deku. Sorry, I just I, I've wrote that long of a script. I've completely lost where I am, but I've found it again, so I do apologise for that mini break there. Right, Deku walks up to the Nomu, and of course he realizes what he's got to do. He uses a low amount of one for all to blow wind around everywhere. This causes this what was once settled dust to turn into a dust cloud. This also attracts the attention of Cementos, who knows about Deku's quirk somewhat, and he decides to he realizes Deku's doing something, so he covers in a cement wall. This is when Deku starts to try and edit the Nomu's quirk, but he realizes editing the Nomu's quirk will change its biological DNA, causing it to potentially die unless it was hooked up to some life source. That's when Deku realizes he's going to have to use his regeneration quirk. He fills his whole body with regeneration energy and drags energy from the Nomu, causing them both to use energy as he envelops both their bodies in this golden pure regeneration energy, which then turns somewhat green as the Nomu is completely covered. Its figure cannot be seen. Deku starts editing away some of its quirks. You hear Deku's screams of agony, not because it's causing hurt, because of the amount of strain on his stamina. He manages to pull through though. He's edited away all the quirks of the Nomu. The Nomu's now become a human. All Might sees the cement cage and as soon as he gets there, runs inside. He's been informed about the whole situation by Cementos, as Cementos opens the door to let All Might in. Deku's used up all his stamina as All Might comes in and looks at Deku as he's fainted on the ground. He also sees an outline of a human who's also fainted on the ground. He checks both their pulses to see whether they're alive. He's passed out, but he's still breathing. All Might holds Deku in his hands. Then he says, "You've been." Then he says, "You've been a good hero, kid," and smirks a bit happily. He then he gets them all out of there, and they're all taken to a hospital. Sorry about that. Yet again, lost my spot. A whole day has passed as the news has been spread around. It's only been spread around to close friends of Deku, and this is of course Melissa. Melissa flies away straight away, taking an overnight flight to Deku's hospital room as Deku sleeps. He's not quite in a coma, but he's used up all his stamina that he could have possibly used, and he's risked his life trying to, well, no, not trying to saving the Nomu. He's been sleeping for ages as Melissa sleeps by the side of Deku's bed, and Inko Midoriya asleep with her head against the wall in a chair. Melissa's also in a chair. That is when Deku wakes up a morning after the fight. Bear in mind, the fight happened early, like 11 o'clock-ish, so he's been asleep for, I don't know, he's been asleep for at least a good 20-ish hours. Deku wakes up on the chair as, Deku wakes up in his room, and he starts to move about, of course, because he's just woken up after 20 hours sleep. This wakes up Melissa, who gives him a hug straight away and then hits him and says, "Don't you ever do that to me again." This causes all this commotion, of course, wakes up Inko Midoriya, who bombards him with questions, asking him whether he's okay, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so glad you're okay. Are you okay? Oh, I love you so much. Thank you, Deku. Thanks for waking up, Deku, and everything like that. And Melissa's just looking at him, happy because he's awake. That's when All Might walks in and is also glad about Deku's Deku being awake. Of course, he didn't wait in the room due to suspicion and all that. That's when All Might then tells Deku to meet him at the beach tonight. Um, uh, meet. That's when All Might tells Deku to meet him at the beach tonight, which he does because Deku is let out straight away due to him not having any injuries. But he's told not to go to UA and instead enjoy the day due to him being, well, such a hero, blah 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 blah. And they just wanted him to enjoy the day because Melissa's there, who isn't usually there. So he goes out with Melissa after assuring his mom that he's okay and taking her home. Deku and Melissa both taking Midoriya home. The day go by. The day goes by quick for the two, as Melissa is then sent home to Island to continue with her studies. So Deku sees her off and sees her off in the airport, cause of course, with her dad being Professor Shield, she's absolutely loaded. So she takes a private jet back to Island to continue with her studies, like she kind of has to. And that's when he goes to the beach, as it is the night time, and All Might has asked him there. Where? I'm sorry. Right. So, Deku gets to the beach, and All Might straight away bows to say sorry. He's really. Then he starts going on about, "I'm sorry I wasn't there, Deku. I wasn't there in your time of need. I was too busy fighting other criminals, and I wasn't being a proper hero." That's when Deku nervously but impulsively says, "You are a hero. You're the symbol of peace, and I understand that you were busy. I'm really I should be thanking you, Mr. Symbol of Peace." That's when All Might says, "Well, you call me the symbol of peace, but from what I've seen, I won't be the symbol of peace for long. Deku, yesterday you were a hero. You saved everyone. You helped everyone. You did something even I couldn't have done, and you helped the Nomu. You kept everybody safe, and of course Aizawa came out with minimal injuries, but let's be honest, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. He could have even, well, we won't think about that, but you taught the villains a lesson, and you almost did everything right. Though I heard you need to work a bit on your smile." He chuckles in the heroic way he does. Deku, Deku, one thing you did miss at UA today is that the UA festival is coming up and it will be happening. One thing I do ask for you from the UA festival is that you face the crowd as a youngling hero, and as the up-and-coming symbol of peace, I want you to exclaim to the audience, and I want you to tell them that you are here. Deku then mumbles nervously, isn't that your..." All Might cuts him off. "It was, but now it's ours. Deku, you're a hero." Of course, this means that next is the UA festival, which I'm going to leave till next episode, because I'm going to write a big long script about it, because that was actually fun. I'm hoping this somewhat improved the What If. Of course, it's not as long, but it's got a solid story now, and I feel like I could focus a lot more. If you liked it, send me a comment, send me a like. It makes me feel warm inside whenever someone comments, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's like one of those feelings you don't usually get. Oh my god, I am mumbling. I'm sorry, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Really, I should get some sleep, but I'm starting to realise that I do it best at night because I got no one walking behind me, distracting me, and yeah. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, have a nice night, sleep well, I guess, or don't. I don't really know what time this will come out. Thanks for watching, goodbye.